Hello, everybody. I want you to take a journey with me. You're 5 years old. It's a beautiful day outside. You're with your mom, you're with your sister, and you're taking a day trip. You're particularly excited for two reasons. One, you know that bus-long day trips generally mean fast food. It's the 80s, so this is still a big deal. Two, you're headed to see your father for the first time in months. You exit the bus excited. Your mom tells you to go across the street with your sister and ask for your father at the security gate. You go to the gate and, "Sir, can you call for my dad, Larry James Steverson?" After a few minutes of radioing around, he looks at you and he says, "I'm sorry, little guy, but no one works here by that name. Who brought you here?" And as you turn to point to your mother, you realize she's gone. Hello, everybody. My name is Derrick Stevens. I am a Robert Wood Johnson clinical scholar, the founder of Underdog Dreams, and I've just shared with you my very first memory of entering the foster care system. My story is only one of 400,000 children that enter the U.S. foster care system each year. Every 2 minutes, a child enters the foster care system. Mostly related to neglect, physical and sexual abuse, parental mental illness, drugs, and a host of other contributing factors. These factors often lead to significant levels of stress and trauma that occur often early, that are often complex, and that are often chronic. Youth are devastated by the results of trauma. 90% of foster youth will experience trauma, with nearly half experiencing at least 4 or more traumatic events. I grew up in the foster care system, and so I've had my fair share of traumas and stress. Nearly 60% of sex trafficking victims have a history of foster care. 50% of youth will not graduate from high school. Girls in foster care are 2 times more likely than that of their peers to become pregnant by age 19. Only 3% of foster care youth will graduate college. And foster youth experience post-traumatic stress disorder 2 times that of combat veterans, and are more than 4 times likely to attempt suicide. I grew up in the foster care system, so I know all too well the significance of experiencing chronic stress and trauma. My mom is diagnosed with schizophrenia and was addicted to drugs throughout my childhood. My father was also addicted to drugs and struggled with substance use disorder. Who would have ever imagined that 5-year-old boy would only see his father 1 to 2 more times in his lifetime? When I was 9 years old, my father committed suicide after murdering a woman in a hotel in Atlanta. By the 2nd grade, I was placed in behavior disorder classes. I was in a gang by the age of 10. In middle school, I was kicked out and sent to alternative school. I was so bad that I was suspended for 5 days from the alternative school before I got to the alternative school. At the age of 19, I would have my first child, and I was even kicked out of the University of Central Florida my first time around. But because of supportive relationships, and despite of the adults around me that told me I would end up dead or in jail by the time I was 18, I am still here and thriving. And not only thriving, I just sent my 18-year-old son off to college. I have accomplished goals and dreams that I could not have imagined because of supportive adults in my life who helped me to understand my self-worth, provided me with opportunities to strengthen my life skills, my ability to regulate my emotions. I have been able to overcome the crippling effects of stress and trauma. With brain science and development, we now know chronic stress has a crippling effect on the brain.
Stress. We all have it, right? But some have more than others. Hi, my name is Dr. Annette Bell. I'm a Robert Wood Johnson Foundation clinical scholar and a proud member of the Underdog Dreams team. Our bodies are capable of handling a certain amount of stress, but when that stress is prolonged or intense, something referred to as toxic stress, and when it occurs in childhood, we know that it can change our bodies in such a way as to significantly increase our chances of developing disease. Researchers have identified 10 types of childhood toxic stress that are associated with these changes. Collectively, they are known as adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, and we know that the more ACEs a child endures, the more likely they are to suffer illness. ACEs can cause changes in our brain, in how we grow and develop, and can even affect our immune system. They change a child's brain in such a way as to make it less sensitive to an important chemical called dopamine. This leads to problems with behavior, difficulty concentrating and learning, and dramatically increases the propensity for addiction. In terms of growth and development, the most common effect we see in children is with their weight. Children with high ACEs are twice as likely to be overweight or obese. Our body's immune system can react in a couple of different ways. It can become less effective, making it difficult to fight illnesses such as the common cold or the flu, but it can also become overactive and cause our body to literally attack itself. These diseases are called autoimmune disorders, and they can affect virtually any part of the body. There are relationships between ACEs and other disease states, such as cancer, that we don't yet fully understand, and more research needs to be done. But based on what we do know, it is imperative that we take action now to prevent and treat toxic stress, especially in children who face a 20-year difference in life expectancy if left with untreated ACEs. Toxic stress causes pain and suffering, but it has a compounding effect in that it can lead to unemployment, poverty, homelessness, and more.
Dad and my stepmom basically got shot in front of me. They both died. So I came, no, I didn't come to Florida right away. I stayed with my auntie a little bit, and one day me and my cousin was going outside, and then he got shot at the door. And my auntie, she was like, I just can't take it no more. So she sent me down here. And I lived with my grandma for a little bit. But then DCF came and got me and my sister. And we basically stayed there for basically up till she aged out and she could take me in. So I was in pretty much foster care my whole life, pretty much. Mom was out for a little bit, but she went to jail for some crazy stuff.
Underdog Dreams uses what is known about adverse childhood experiences, chronic stress, and advancements in brain science to provide foster youth with an opportunity to redefine their second chance. The science tells us that if Just Me has at least one supportive adult in his life to help build his sense of self-worth and perceive control and provide him with opportunities to strengthen his abilities to regulate his emotions and his life skills, that he will absolutely become the nurse practitioner and world-renowned songwriter he dreams of. Underdog Dreams' mission is to provide every foster youth with the opportunity to dream of the possibilities, to see a future filled with purpose, and to live with intention. We believe that our evidence-based, trauma-informed approach, which utilizes strategies such as providing foster youth with psychosocial education and experiential learning opportunities, physical and mental wellness activities, and using technology such as virtual reality to meet them where they are, that we can have an impact to improve the lives of all foster youth across America. For the past 3 years, we've worked with Just Me along with 19 other foster youth that have participated in First Star Academy, Central Florida, led by Dr. Deshaun Chapman. This summer, we went to Puerto Rico on a mission trip to give back and to understand that even though foster care is our plight, we don't have a monopoly on hardships. Our kids also were rewarded for the dedication it took for them to complete the 4-year program. This summer, we partnered with Amanda Stanek of Move, Live, Learn and completed an 8-week physical activity program and research study where we looked at how physical health, healthy eating, and a life skills curriculum improve social and emotional health for foster youth ages 12 to 17. Of course, in order to accomplish the positive outcomes that we sought after, we engaged many community partners to ensure that we were able to improve the culture of health for Florida's foster youth and families. All of us have an opportunity to redefine not only the second chance for foster youth, but any youth that is experiencing significant levels of trauma and chronic stress. This is my family, Zayden, Layla, Jalen, and Miles. Because I had a supportive adult in my life along my journey, I have been able to realize the most amazing dream, being a father to 4 with 1 on the way. So you see, Zayden is actually my nephew who has been in the foster care system for the past 3 years. And because somebody gave me an opportunity to redefine my second chance, I now have the opportunity and my wife to redefine the second chance for Zayden, as we were granted permanent guardianship 3 weeks ago.